Hey guys, you've been asking a lot of questions, so we thought today we would take some time and answer those questions.
Pilot Boys asked, is your channel name a take on the book The House on Mango Street? And yes, it is.
Andre Leander.
You can just say Andre.
Andre asks, just out of complete curiosity, did either of you go to school for this? No, I went to school for audio engineering, and Rachel went to school for English literature.
Loris asks, is she really eating a banana in the middle of that video?
Magic Master Mac, sweet name, asks, how do you make the white lines effect? So I think you're referring to the little motion graphic white line animation I do on some of the videos, and that I do in After Effects with the pen tool, and I could do a tutorial on that in the future, but it's After Effects.
Should we say sorry if we butcher the names?
Yeah. Sorry in advance if we butcher any of your names.
Aish asks, what aperture do you use for the images and what lens would be good for overhead photos? Our aperture, we usually shoot anywhere from 1.2 to 2.8. For overhead photos, if there's a lot of different heights to the things that you're shooting, you might want to shoot a little bit more closed, maybe something closer to 4.0. Simply Handmade asks, are you guys a couple or just shooting buddies? Both.
Patrizia asks, what computer apps did you guys use to edit photos? We use Lightroom to edit all of our photos.
Okay, Mr. Poopchillin asks, which Lightroom version are you using?
Well, we're using Lightroom CC. Worstgirl.com asks, how to find and reach out to people to model for a portrait. Rachel, you want to answer this?
No.
Well, you can reach out to models directly if they have contact information on Instagram. You can send them a direct message. If they're represented by an agency, you can go through them. You can post an ad on Craigslist. You can go to Model Mayhem. There's a lot of different avenues for it. Most models will want to get paid if they are good at what they do.
Carlson asks, what camera application would you suggest for smartphone? We use Lightroom Mobile. We have our presets from Lightroom synced to our Lightroom Mobile so we can keep our Instagram feeds consistent.
And you could also use ProCam 4 or manual, just whatever you like best. Hans Herrera asks, where are you from in the Los Angeles area? Just to clarify, we moved to LA from Chicago about 2 years ago, and we live in Highland Park. Christina asks, more of a video related question, but where do you get your music from for your videos?
We get our music from artlist.io, and we'll link that below. Adventurolic, sorry if I butchered that, asks, would you suggest using Facebook advertising or sponsored posts to reach more of an audience? I've done that for my wedding photography business, and I would not suggest it. Spent a lot of money and I didn't see a big return on my investment. In terms of wedding photography, I would find a wedding blog that posts your style of photography and then just advertise with them, because that's where we've seen the best return on investment.
A Nigerian prince.
You know what, Toby? When the son of the deposed king of Nigeria emails you directly asking for help, you help.
Asks, do you think people who take and edit muted film style photos and videos are part of an art movement? If so, what would the name of that movement be? I don't really think it's part of an art movement. I think it's just kind of a trend right now that people like, and so they're just kind of all hopping on that bandwagon, which is fine. Before this, it was like super over-processed HDR, and so now people I think are toning it back and trying to do less processing and just give it like more of a timeless look, which I'm all for. Kelsey asks, I was wondering what camera you use for video and also photography. For all the video that you see, we use the Canon 5D Mark IV. I also have the Canon 5D Mark III.
Eric Thriller asks, do you guys use LUTs? It would be awesome to see a Mango Street LUTs tutorial.
Noted, Eric. Yeah, we do use LUTs, and we take our Lightroom preset and convert that to a LUT, so it kind of has similar tones as our photos, and we will do a tutorial on that. Harishwar asks, hi, I am a beginner in photography. What camera should I buy? That is a very good question. It depends on your budget, depends on your style, depends on what you like. So there are a lot of factors that come into play, and we'll talk more about this very soon.
Ramdan asks, do you have more presets or do you sell it?
We do have more presets. If you go to filmatic.co, I'll link it below, you can see more of our presets that we do have available, other than that free one that we do give away. Gustavo asks, how do you edit your photos? Can you do a tutorial? Funny that you asked that, because we already did that. Check it out, we have a couple of Lightroom tutorials already, and you can kind of see our method.
Give Me That Suck John asks, how did that book land at 101?
Books and plants to give your room some company.
Answer is, Rachel is really good at sports. Something Wa-like asks, now tell us how to do those video transitions. I think that was on the Hong Kong vlog, and those transitions were made by a guy named Chung Da, which I will also link below. They made it really easy to drag and drop these transitions onto your footage. You have to shoot it correctly with your end product in mind. So if you know you want to do whip pans or zooms, shoot accordingly, and that will help make the finished product look the way you want.
Aish commented, no div squad, which is not a question, but we've never had a squad before, so we just wanted to mention it.
Everest314 asks, what's the problem with tungsten lights if you properly correct the white balance? A lot of times you'll have tungsten lights on and windows open, and then you'll have competing lighting temperatures. So it becomes difficult to adjust the white balance one way without overcorrecting for another part of your shot.
Just a lot of work in post.
Not to mention, a lot of those tungsten lights inside will just cast weird shadows on your subjects. And so we've always had better success when we just turn the lights off and open all the windows.
Runa asks, you've been to the Faroe Islands? I can tell from the thumbnail of this and another video of yours. Great video, by the way. The answer is yes. Passion Passport sent us to Iceland and the Faroe Islands 2 years ago. QZ AU Films asks, do you plan the story before you take the photo, or do you make the story based on the photo that you've taken? The answer to that is, if we're photo styling and we're completely contriving how we want the photo to look, we definitely consider the story before we take the photo. We try to figure out what it is that we want to say or communicate through the photo. When we're just capturing candid moments, we usually just look for things that speak to us, and the point of taking the photo is to communicate what we see. The story is there, our job is just to capture the story, if that makes sense.
And everyone's like, oh, I'm sorry guys. No one ever lets me talk this long.
David says, so she couldn't have waited till the end of the video before diving into that banana.
No. Thanks for all the questions, everyone. We have a question for you though. In the comments below, we want to know who your favorite photographer is. We will see you on Monday with a new tutorial. Good question, Larissa.